Have you ever really thought about the classical guitar? You know, that instrument famous for its intimate, kind of delicate voice? Well, how in the world did it find its way onto the biggest concert stages on the planet? Its journey from a quiet parlor instrument to a concert hall powerhouse is this incredible story of innovation, pure ambition, and some seriously cool acoustic engineering. All right, let's get into it.
So this is the big question we're going to tackle. It's kind of like a mystery, right? You've got this beautiful, quiet instrument made of wood and string, and it's up against the demands of this ever-expanding musical world. How did the master guitar makers, the luthiers, even begin to solve this problem?
And wow, this really shows you just how massive that transformation was. On the left, you see the vihuela, an ancestor of the guitar from way back in the 16th century. It's elegant for sure, but small. And on the right, that's a modern concert guitar. The difference is just stark, not just in size, but in the sheer sound they can make. So how did we get from the little guy on the left to the powerhouse on the right?
Well, the whole story starts with a really simple but huge challenge. The guitar's early relatives were beautiful, don't get me wrong. They were perfect for small rooms, for intimate gatherings. But as music itself started to get bigger and bolder, the guitar was in real danger of being left behind. Its voice just too quiet to be heard over the noise.
So you look at the 16th century vihuela, then the Baroque guitar, and for a long time the design didn't really change all that much. And hey, they were perfect for their time. But then we hit the mid-19th century and everything starts to change. Concert halls are getting bigger, audiences are growing, and the guitar with its soft parlor room voice, well, it just couldn't keep up. The choice was simple: get louder or fade away.
And that brings us to the hero of our story, a Spanish luthier named Antonio de Torres. This is the guy who took on the challenge and basically created the blueprint for every single modern classical guitar that came after him. He's the one who cracked the code on the volume problem.
Torres didn't just make a few tweaks, he completely reimagined the guitar from the inside out. He made the body deeper and wider, which meant there was a lot more air inside to get moving and make sound. He shifted the bridge right to the sweet spot on the guitar's lower half to get the most vibration out of the strings. But his real stroke of genius, that was what he did inside the box.
He perfected something called fan bracing. See, before Torres, the wooden supports inside a guitar were often pretty clunky and they kind of choke the sound. Fan bracing was the game changer. It gave the guitar's top all the strength it needed, but it was light and arranged in a way that let the soundboard just sing. It's basically the engine that drives the modern guitar.
And here it is. Just look at that elegant, fan-like pattern. It's this incredible piece of engineering. This design let the top of the guitar act like a way more efficient loudspeaker, pushing more air and creating a tone that was richer, fuller, and, most importantly, a whole lot louder. Torres had finally given the guitar its voice.
But you know how these things go. The story doesn't end there. Torres's revolution was so successful that it created a whole new generation of amazing performers. And these players, they pushed the instrument to its absolute limits. And with that came a new demand. They wanted more. More power, more projection, more presence on stage.
And nobody embodied that ambition more than the legend himself, Andres Segovia. This quote just says it all. His goal was huge. He wanted the guitar to be taken as seriously as a piano or a violin, to stand right beside them in the world's biggest, most prestigious concert halls. For that to happen, he needed a guitar that could absolutely roar.
So, the goalposts moved. It wasn't just about being heard anymore. Now it was about having the dynamic range, the sustain, the different tonal colors to play music that was written for entire orchestras. This became the next great puzzle for guitar makers to solve.
And the hunt for a solution led the world of guitar making to this really fascinating fork in the road. Two totally different design philosophies popped up in the middle of the 20th century, and each one had a completely different idea about how to unlock the guitar's ultimate potential.
So on one side, you had the symmetrical school. Think of them as the purists, guys like Hermann Hauser. They believed in perfecting Torres's balanced design to get the ultimate clarity and warmth. Then, on the other side, you had the asymmetrical school. Luthiers like Ramirez and Fleda, these guys were the radicals. They started breaking with tradition, adding diagonal braces and other tricks to get raw, explosive power, even if it meant giving up some of that classic, balanced tone.
Okay, let's look under the hood. On the left, you see the inside of a Hauser. See how clean and balanced it is? That perfect, symmetrical fan? It's all about harmony. Now look at the Fleda on the right. Bam! See that big diagonal brace? That's not about harmony, that's about brute force. It's designed to drive the top as hard as possible for maximum power. Two totally different roads to the same goal.
So for decades, you were either in one camp or the other. But what if there was a third way? This brings us right up to the modern day, to a new design that tries to take all the lessons from the past and finally settle this old argument.
And this is the million-dollar question that modern luthiers are asking. Is it possible to build a guitar that has the best of both worlds? Can you actually get that massive, concert-level power and projection, but without losing that warm, balanced middle register that is really the heart and soul of the classical guitar? Well, the answer might be in a whole new way of thinking. Instead of trying to force the power out, this modern design is all about total system integration. The whole idea is to make every single part of the soundboard work together in perfect sync, creating power through efficiency, not just force.
So how does it actually work? Let's break it down. First, the core of the guitar, right around the sound hole, is physically linked to the neck. That makes sure none of the string's energy gets lost. Second, some of the key fan braces now extend all the way up through the guitar's waist, connecting the top and bottom halves. What you get is a single, unified system where the entire top vibrates as one incredibly efficient, powerful unit.
And that gets us right back to the ultimate goal here. To get that modern power that a player like Segovia dreamed of, but to do it within a balanced, symmetrical design that holds on to the beautiful tone of the classic guitars. It's really about taking the best of everything that came before. You know, the guitar's journey from a whisper to a roar is just this amazing story of relentless creativity. But as this new design shows us, that evolution is nowhere near finished. And I think this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's saying that, yeah, the basic blueprint that Taurus laid down might be complete. We figured that out. But the art of interpreting that design, of finding new ways to make it sing, that will never, ever stop.
Which leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We've watched these brilliant craftspeople solve the problem of volume and then the problem of power. What's next? What are the sonic puzzles that the next generation of builders and players are going to try to solve? The guitar's secret history? Well, it's still being written.